Everyone knows Mother Teresa as a living saint during her time on Earth. She was an icon with her white sari, bordered with blue, as she wandered the streets of Calcutta. And I'll touch more on her choice of clothing style later. But Mother Teresa did all her actions with love, improving the world one act at a time. Of course, we all want to live up to God's expectation He has for us. But that's easier said than done. Mother Teresa is a prime example of how someone who loves with all their heart do not get the same treatment back. Today, we are uncovering 7 interesting facts that you did not know about Mother Teresa and understand the blessing the world received from God through her. Starting off strong, with the common assumption of Mother Teresa being Indian because she spent a lot of time in Calcutta, when she was in fact born in Üsküp, Kosovo Vilayet, Ottoman Empire. And with a name like Angeze Gongsha Boyakshio, it was a lot easier to remember the name Mother Teresa instead. With Mother Teresa being Albanian and giving her life to Christ at the age of 18, she was moved to India and never returned to her homeland. She didn't know, but she should have said her goodbyes to her family in that moment, never to see her loved ones again. Before Mother Teresa became famous for her loving acts, she spread that love as a teacher. After joining the Loreto Sisters Order, she spent nearly 20 years teaching geography and history at St. Mary's School in Calcutta. There, she was a beloved teacher, patient and warm with her students, and those students returned that same level of love. But something kept getting her attention. Every day, on the other side of the school's walls, she could see the slums. She could see the suffering. Seeing this level of poverty daily changed something within Mother Teresa. This would later pivot her towards her famous call within a call statement. Although she followed God's calling in becoming a nun, she felt another call coming from God directing her to another path. After 20 years of teaching, Mother Teresa was on a train to Darjeeling for a spiritual retreat. In that moment is where she felt the calling within her original call. She heard God speaking to her and telling her to move away from the convent and help those in the slums and serve the poorest of the poor. Of course, this would mean that Mother Teresa would have to leave this comfortable convent lifestyle behind. But that isn't anything new to Mother Teresa. She's left the comfort of family to follow God, and she is willing to do this again. After this moment, it became a tradition celebrated by the missionaries of charity as Inspiration Day. It took her 2 more years to get Vatican permission from Archbishop Ferdinand Perrier of Calcutta to leave the Loreto Order and start a new mission, a call within a call. Father Celeste van Exem helped Mother Teresa present her case to the Archbishop to leave her order and begin her new mission. The Catholic Church doesn't exactly move fast, but she did get the green light from Archbishop. This 4th part that I am going to mention is extremely controversial. It is so controversial that it has been removed in books and other news sources, but still can be proven through other sources. The reason why this incident is being removed is because it demonstrates how heartless Calcutta's culture was during this violent time. Mother Teresa's clinic was going to be shut down and removed because of an angry crowd. They did not like the fact that her clinic was once an abandoned Hindu temple and now being used for the sick and dying by Catholic nuns. The angry crowd brought the police commissioner with the attempt to remove Mother Teresa and the nuns. Once the commissioner entered, he immediately covered his nose and witnessed the leprosy and other dying people inside. What moved his heart was seeing Mother Teresa and the nuns cleaning these dying people and providing them a loving death. He stepped outside the clinic and looked at the angry crowd in their eyes and said,
"I will remove Mother Teresa and the nuns if you bring your wives, mothers, and sisters to take their place.
No man or woman stepped forward. Instead, they walked away and left the building and the nuns alone. Now, the certain parts the internet hides from you are what the police commissioner said, and the angry mob throwing stones at Mother Teresa's clinic. They also try to hide why the angry mob was there in the first place. The clinic Mother Teresa and the nuns were in was an abandoned Hindu temple. The reason why it was abandoned was because the Muslims and Hindus fought one another during this time, and this will lead towards Mother Teresa creating a ceasefire amongst the violence, and why she wore the white sari. This specific event can only be found in certain books.
As of this moment of editing the video, that incident with the commissioner has been removed from the audiobook. It's crazy to see this level of censorship.
And even then, they still hide the full details. Now going back to what Mother Teresa wore. Mother Teresa became iconic with the white long robe with blue stripes. But the reason why she wore this was very clever from her end. You see, if Mother Teresa wore the usual black and white long pieces of clothing from the Catholic Church, then no one would approach or even consider looking her way. Mother Teresa knew this to a degree because of the culture there, and that is where her iconic piece of clothing became one of her greatest ideas. Although Mother Teresa wanted to help the sick and the poor, no one in Calcutta wanted to be seen around, or let alone speak to a Catholic nun, especially when the violence between the Muslims and Hindus began. The reason why her iconic clothes worked so well was because of the symbolism design strategy. Mother Teresa adopted the white and blue sari to symbolize purity through the white color and honor Mother Mary through the blue color. She chose a simple cotton sari, similar to those worn by the poor, allowing her to fit in while working in Calcutta's slums. The 3 blue stripes represent the vows of poverty, obedience, and chastity. The 6th most interesting thing about Mother Teresa was about the ceasefire that I mentioned early in the video. In the year 1982, amongst the bombing that was taking place in Siege of Beirut, Mother Teresa was praying for a miracle to find a way to evacuate the disabled children trapped in a blown-up hospital. Her prayers were answered. God blessed Mother Teresa by giving her the bravery and the courage to approach aggressors. Through a combination of spiritual prayer, Our Lady prayer, and direct intervention to persuade the Israeli army and Palestinian guerrilla leaders cease the violence and the bombing, giving Mother Teresa and the Red Cross helpers the opportunity to evacuate the 37 disabled children. For the last interesting fact about Mother Teresa is winning the Nobel Peace Prize. The reason why Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1979 was from all the work she accomplished with helping the poor and suffering in Calcutta. She was also the founder of the Missionaries of Charity. She was recognized for promoting peace by serving the poorest of the poor. Mother Teresa did not want to have the massive celebration that comes with the Nobel Peace Prize, but instead, she did ask for the money that would be spent on the celebration to donate that money to the poor in Calcutta. She received that $192,000 instead of having the banquet and celebration. One of the most moving speeches Mother Teresa gave that stuck with me was when she talked about washing a very sick man with worms inside the surface of his body. After cleaning the man and removing the worms, he told Mother Teresa that he can now die feeling truly loved. And Mother Teresa explained how she would see this consistently in her hospice, and that was exactly what the police commissioner saw that eventful day. Everyone says the underdog receives the most cheers, but Mother Teresa did not receive hers until her final years. Mother Teresa did it all for the love of God by spreading the love of Jesus to the poor and sick. Mother Teresa emphasized, when you don't know what to do, you pray and spread the love as Jesus did. We should all strive for this achievement. especially with how the world is today. It's easier said than done, but that's what it takes to make it to heaven.